Hello, TCI, GCS, Jonathan's Refuge, all of our faithful followers and friends coming to you live with a guest. Some of you know Sierra. Sierra is what you guys hear me refer to as a lot, little sister. So if you ever hear me talking about a story and I say little sister, that's Sierra. Sierra Graham is a special person to our organization. This is my little sister who let me and my wife, Cece, get married in their backyard. And it was what we refer to as our magical wedding. We had the big one for people to come and see. And if you remember, I was probably one of the few men you ever know that had a, what do you call that, a groomsman?
Groomswoman.
Groomswoman. So I had groomsmen, right? But then I said, I need a woman in the groomsmen. And so this was Sierra. She was my founding partner with GCS, Grace Connection Services. The name was founded by three of us, Cece, myself, and Sierra. Funny part was we're all sitting there, and I even got my note. I don't know if you still got yours, but I had my notebook, and Cece had hers, and we were looking like, because I was trying to figure out how I was like, how did I come up with that name? She's like, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, no, it was the three of us. I'm like, oh, okay.
You can't take all the credit.
I tried to take all the credit. But we're coming to you for the message for Thursday, and we do these things less than 15 minutes, so I jump right into it. And yesterday we had lunch. Little sister lives in Colorado with Joe. Joe, if you're out there and you watch this, I love you, buddy. And they have a beautiful little place out there. They're staying over by Joe's mom, and then they have their own land that they're now going to be building on, which is cool. And then they'll have a big brother or a little brother or something brother place for me to put a tent. But the reason I asked for her specifically to come back and be with me on this interview was she said something in our lunch yesterday. She made a comment. And we were discussing certain generations, okay? and every generation, you know, they got the greatest generation, the World War II guys. You got all these different generations. They have names for them. And I actually had a friend preach on the different groups. And he did a great job at explaining that if you talk to this person from that generation, you can't call them. They want to see you in person. And then another generation wants a phone call.
Yep.
When a whole other generation, if you show up or call them, they have a heart attack. No, don't do that.
Don't show up at my door.
Text me. I get text only. And I'm like, but we're discussing the end of your life. It's serious. And they're like, I know. All serious conversations have to be text. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with you people? But if you do learn to understand how they communicate or want to communicate, you can better communicate. But she said something that really I haven't been able to shake it since yesterday. And she said, I found my calling and I like being a wayfinder. And at first I knew what she was saying, but I don't think it really sunk in. And then the drive home from lunch, I was pondering that thought, a wayfinder. Because we're wayfinders for people. Yeah. Your whole life is about shining a light. And Sierra's a hiker. And I'm a hiker. We both, Cece, me, Sierra, Brian, a whole bunch of us, we went and summited Mount St. Helens the week I was supposed to die. Yep. So she was on the expedition. If you look at the pictures when I collapsed, you'll see her, and she's walking with me down, and we got yelled at a bunch of times because we were slow.
Yeah, we were in the back of the pack on the way down, for sure.
Even I get yelled at. And so what's interesting is you wear these little headlamps, and we left in the dark, and we came back in the dark. So we left with headlamps, and we came back with headlamps.
Yep.
Now, the headlamp will only let you see a few feet in front of you, and it's pitch black. You can look up, and there's no mountain, because it's black. It's all black. But that little lamp will give you about 10 feet, maybe 20 feet, depending on the lamp you have. I know there's some out there that I think I bought one that has like this special band that goes around.
The extra battery pack.
Yes, it lights up like 65 feet in every direction. Yeah, it's so bad. But don't do it, by the way. You'll blind everyone in your party, and those things don't work.
Campgrounds don't appreciate that.
Absolutely, that's right. But that flashlight allows the path to be seen. Yep. So you can figure out how to go. You don't know what is the road out up ahead, is the path out ahead. It's like going to New York. You've been to New York. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've been to New York. From here, we literally we're right on the Sound, right at Lake Washington, is that?
South Lake Union.
South Lake Union.
Yep.
So we're on Lake Union, downtown Seattle, at Sierra's office. And what's interesting is if we were to get on the freeway, it'd be the 90.
Yep.
And we just hop on the 90 and you take it all the way across America. It ends in Boston. But before you get to Boston, there's another road that will shoot you down to Manhattan, if you will, or New York. Do you know it's there?
No.
You've driven it before.
Yeah.
But could it be out? But you have to have faith it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It was there yesterday when you checked the report.
Yeah.
So you got to have faith it's still going to be there today.
Yep.
Life's the same way.
Yep.
We know the world's still turning,
Mm-hmm.
but is it okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have faith it's going to be okay. And I know there's going to be a wayfinder in my life. Somebody who's going to go and hit the little button
Yep.
on the top of the light and go, see that, bud? There's 5 feet in front of you.
Yep.
That's all you need to see.
That's all you
Just
need.
take the next
And
3
have
or 4
faith.
steps. Have faith that we're going to get to New York. I know it's hard when you can't see the end because having been through so much trauma in my life and knowing
yeah,
yours,
just the darkness and the trauma.
it's so
clouds
scary.
your vision, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
How do you?
Uncertain.
Yes, you're like, hey, could you just light up the whole
Right.
freaking path so I could see it, please?
Big Brother's heard me say a lot. Can it just be easier?
Why not? It should be, right? I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't get easier. I tell you all the time when we talk that it's about every mountain. When you get to it, it's barren up on top.
Mm-hmm.
There's no life.
Yeah.
So when you get up there, you got to go back down to the valley to grow.
Yep.
And that's where you grow, and it's where you stretch, and that usually means you get owies and you're sore because you're ripping muscles.
Yep.
And you say, why do we do that? So that the next day, when you go through that same obstacle, you're like, yeah, this is nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
I remember the first time I went through a corporate merger, I was suicidal. I'm serious. I was like ready to put a gun to my head and blow my head off.
Yeah.
The 2 corporate worlds were, and it's just like, yeah.
It's chaos.
Go through 3 of them, you're like, yeah, I got my feet up on the table next, smoking a cigar, like, this is great. They're like, what, that's the end of the world? And I'm like, no, it's going to be awesome.
It'll be fine.
They're going to fight for about 6 months, and then the parents are going to come and tell us all going to be great.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pony up and give us some bonuses.
That's right.
If you know what's going on. But
Yeah.
if you've never been there, you don't know.
It's scary.
And if you're driving to New York and you've never driven the I-90 to New York, it's terrifying.
Well, and then getting into New York, it's just chaos and
Yes.
terrifying, and you don't know.
I remember coming back from New York, actually. Boston, technically. But on the 90.
Mm-hmm.
And I was beating a storm in 2006 to get home for Christmas. And it was bearing down on me. And I had 3 days to get home. But if I slept for even 6 hours at a time, at any given time, more than 6 hours, the storm would pass me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't make Christmas.
Yeah.
So I get to South Dakota, and if you've driven there, they have those big arms that they close the freeways. Okay, so
Yeah.
the arms, the guy is bringing the arm down.
no.
And I'm there going, honk, and I'm hauling.
I gotta go.
And I say I'm hauling, I'm doing about 12. Because
Yeah,
it's
snow.
10 feet, it's a blizzard.
Yep.
And he looks at me, and I see I'm crying. You can't shut me, I have children. I booed.
Yeah.
He lifted it up and said, I never saw you. And I went, and I couldn't see
Yeah.
5 feet in front of me. And I'm like, how am I going to drive? So I took the old Garmin's. You remember the kind we
Yeah.
all used to have?
Yeah.
So I took a Garmin, and I had it on there, and it shows blue
Yep.
where you're supposed to drive on
Yep.
the road. I didn't pay attention because I was on the phone talking to somebody. And about an hour goes by, and I'm doing this in my truck.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh no. Because I'm only driving like 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I look at the machine, and there's no
You're
road.
up the road.
There's no road. I've been gone for an
Oh, no.
hour. No road. I've been in the field for over an hour at 5 miles an hour. I lost my way.
Well, there's another lesson for you.
And so here I am, and I'm like, I think I should just get a couple hours sleep,
Yeah.
wait till the sun, see how much damage I did in someone's field. So I go to sleep. I wake up, and there's a guy with a gun. and
Oh, my goodness.
Farmer John, he's
Yeah.
like, hey boy, what you doing in my field? I'm like, don't shoot, I'm sorry. But I got back on the path. And I think that's what stuck me yesterday.
Yeah.
Is at 48, I get lost a lot still.
Yeah.
People think you don't get lost the older you get. You still get lost in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It just your lost time gets shorter.
Yes.
So it's like a small amount of I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, I do. Of course I know what to do.
You've been through this before.
Yeah.
It might look different. It might be a different scenario, but you've been through the hard stuff. You've lost your path before. You've climbed the mountain.
Right.
You know, everything that's put in front of us. I know it's cliche to say that, you know, God or the universe or whoever your bigger power is doesn't give you more than you can handle.
Right.
But it really is true because we've been there before. We've accomplished it
We did it.
before, and we've
We
been
can do it again.
successful. And I think that in my lowest, darkest days, that's what got me through. Is I've been through this before. It might look different, but I know I survived it, and I can survive this again. And what really helped me power through was knowing that I can be the light for others, and and that's being the wayfinder or the way shower or whatever you want to call it. It's a really powerful, fulfilling
It is.
journey. Yeah,
It's
and
cool.
having that.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful I've had wayfinders in my life.
Yeah.
Now here's the question for you. Of course, some think that the older you get, the more sophisticated you get, the more professional, the more experienced, the more wisdom, that you don't need wayfinders. Is that true or no?
That is absolutely not true, because you will always have new challenges to come in your life.
Exactly.
Like as you age, then different things happen. For me this year, getting to an age of losing people in my life for the first time, and that's been a challenge. And being able to have others, who have been through the same things and grieved and lost, and realizing that's not a one size fits all.
No, it's not.
Has been really helpful for me this year, and knowing that going forward I'm gonna face other challenges that are new and scary, but that I told you yesterday, I can still be a light for others, even scared myself.
Absolutely.
And knowing that I also have wayfinders in my life.
She brought up a point. Can you be scared and be the wayfinder? The answer is yes. I climb mountains, you all know me. And I was on Mount Adams. My climbing partners were two guys, but only one was going to do the summit attempt. We waited till too late in the season, so the normal snow and ice ramps were gone, so there was more of like that climb. Honestly, we were like at 60 to 80 degree pitches at that last part. And that's vertical. You're just almost vertical. And slamming the ice axe in, I know what to do. I've done this I don't know how many times, hundreds of times that I've used my ice axe on ice and walking on glaciers and all that stuff. But I was terrified. Mm-hmm. And I was so scared I didn't even
Jay, be quiet. Something's up then.
and my partner didn't, because he was dead quiet because he was scared to death too.
Right.
But you can be the wayfinder. It doesn't mean you have all the answers.
Yeah.
It just means you can shine a light in a spot, because I've been to where that was before. But that the part you said where sometimes you're going to always go through different things, so you need a new wayfinder. And then you were talking about losing people. Yeah. Well, when I need help, I call people. I'm like, hey, wayfinder, but I call them friend, right? I'm like, hey, mentor, how do I get out of this hole I'm in? Mm-hmm. I recently called two of my mentors, only to realize after I dialed their phone number, they were dead this year. Right. How do I find a wayfinder?
Yeah, what now? Yeah.
They're out there.
Yep.
You just got to look.
Yeah, just keep being yourself, and being, one of the things I've really embraced this year is vulnerability. I have power in my vulnerability, and transparency. So whether that means just, being authentically yourself and letting people know, like, this is me, and like take it or leave it, but the more vulnerable you are, the more of the same people that you attract, and the wayfinders will be in that group.
There's so much to expand on this message. I'm just scratching the surface with you guys on tonight's message for Thursday night. But I want us to discuss how to become wayfinders, how to be a wayfinder, what's the lessons. So next few weeks, I'm going to, I got Christmas coming, so I have a Christmas message. So I'm going to pause for the Christmas message and the New Year message. But I think we're gonna go into maybe a two-part series on this wayfinder thing. I want to dig into it more, because I think there's a lot of meat on this topic.
Absolutely.
That we need to be able to, because some people don't realize, hey, all you got to do to be a wayfinder is turn your light on.
Yeah.
Like, there's people behind you don't even know it. They're looking at you.
Exactly.
I had a friend didn't know he was a leader, and he's like, I didn't know people were following me. And I'm like, well, you're an idiot. Turn around and look. They're back there.
Absolutely.
People like you. People listen to you. They follow you. They go, hey, your posts are cool. You're my neighbor, and I've always seen you do stuff. I want to be like you. You don't even know it. Yeah. And people are mimicking you, and they're following you. Sierra had a text from a person, and they were asking for some things, and she was telling them some things. And one of the things I found to be awesome was the advice she just gave me was what she gave that person, which was just be authentic. Just be you. Yeah. I don't have to change. I am Jonathan Brown. I can look like a gangster and a thug, and the next minute I can be in a tuxedo and hanging out with a senator. That's me. I can be authentic as who I am. But if I try to pretend to be something I'm not, then that authenticity leaves and people don't come
people
around
realize
you,
that
and they
too.
turn
Yeah.
away, and
Yeah.
now you are lost.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anyone showing the light.
Yep.
And it's hard to walk in the dark, trust me. I have gone to a mountain with no batteries extra and had to walk for almost 3 hours in the dark, and then only to realize that me and my climbing partner Cam were idiots and walked on a cliff and almost died. So it was brilliant. I mean, Brian's like, "Where'd you guys sleep?" And I tell him where we slept, and he's like, "Oh my, you realize that's the avalanche zone on the I-90?" And I'm like, "That's why the ground was shaking all night, and we heard explosions."
Also, bear and mountain lion.
And without a light, it's dark. But if
And
you
there
just
are
turn the
dangers
light
out
on,
there.
yes, there are dangers.
You know, and that's another. I mean, for next time, but that's
Absolutely.
another part of the story.
I
And
think
this is
that's
a great
something to
message
expand on.
going into the new year.
It is.
because
I think it's a way
yeah.
to open the new year. The new year
Absolutely.
message. So
Yeah.
I'm almost ending our year, and that next Thursday is going to be the actual Christmas message,
Yeah.
the holiday message. I don't care if you say holiday or Christmas or whatever. It's going to be this guy's holiday Christmas message. And it's interesting. It's about Scrooge and the man who wrote the whole
Oh, I
book
can't
on
wait.
it. Yeah, I'm excited. I've been working on it for a little bit.
Nice.
Just a short little 15, guys, we're doing 15 minutes because anything more than that, you're just hearing yourself, which I'm already a minute and 7 seconds past. So as I close, I want to ask Sierra to kind of surmise, if she could, or put out to us her minute of wisdom on that ability to just be quiet, take a breath, even though you're scared, and say, "I can do this." And turn on your lamp and just take one step to get across that path. And know that people are watching you and they're following you. It might be your children, your spouses. I know that, me and Cece, I worked this year with my wife on becoming kinder. And the person who's helped me is this one. Little sister has helped me because I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm not PC. I don't do things nicely sometimes, and I'm a little rough. But I've learned that I need to be a little kinder, and that's not always easy for me. So we can all improve if we allow a wayfinder, because you have to allow the wayfinder into your life.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Well, I think, for me, I've been through a lot of adversity, same as JB, and I think that's what connected us. And also, I used to be a little bit harder around the edges because of those dark places that I've been in, and finding people to surround me with love regardless, and just by leaning into my authenticity, I've been able to brighten that light, and turn it on, not only for myself to lead myself in the way, but also to show others. And in the face of adversity, it's so needed to just turn on that light, because it gets really dark and really scary, and you look around, like, I have imposter syndrome sometimes. I'm like,
Right.
Why am I here? What am I doing? And then I look around and I'm like, oh, we're all figuring it out,
Yep.
and we're all a little bit of an imposter, but that's how we grow. We learn and we challenge ourselves and we challenge the people we love around us. And it's through all of those lessons that we can be the wayfinder, but also find our wayfinders. So it's really just embracing what life gives us every day, the good
Love
and
it.
the bad,
love it.
and there's struggles and there's chaos, and there's going to be people that challenge you as a wayfinder that are going to say, "You're not a wayfinder, you don't have a light, you don't know what you're doing." Maybe not, but I'm doing it anyway.
Keep walking the path that you're on. Turn the light on if the path is right. If it's not the right path, you need to change the path. Find a wayfinder. We're here for you. We love you guys. Sorry we went a few minutes over.
Love you.
Do me a favor. You know the drill. Every single week, right? We all live positive. We coexist as a group. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me nor the person next to you, but we need to be able to be peaceful and agree to disagree on things and do things in a loving manner so we're not out starting wars, dropping bombs, kicking doors down. If my wife, Cynthia, and my little sister can help this guy be a little nicer and a little kinder, I think the rest of us can do it too. And I love you guys. God bless. We'll see y'all in the next year.